such an asshole.
Sick, Cappy. Got the second shingles shot. When you get to be an old fart, you'll like a shot. What do you mean shot? You get the vaccine. It's a 2-shot thing. So 2 months ago, you have to be 50 to get it. So for a birthday gift, I bought myself the first of 2 shingles shots. And so you get that, and then you feel sick for the next 24 hours. And I was kind of hoping the second one would not be bad. And it's like, oh, just it's bad. So let's continue on. What do we got a request? I'm tired. I didn't sleep at all last night. Hey Cappy, with my son soon to be 15, we have been enjoying your content for years now. Is he a little young? Like at 13 or 12, is he a little young? 50 is about the right age to introduce him to some things, but I don't know. I kind of want kids to be kids. I have a request for a video response, freeform rant of yours on the points I'm going to make below. If this is of interest to you, let me know. I will have no meaningful access to the internet to get payment later. Tons of ink has been spilled on podcasts about how marriage is obsolete and how things are going to change in a way that, if adopted in mass, would result in our extinction. I disagree. It will not result in our extinction. It will result in people that go back to abiding by the laws of nature because they're going to have to. And they're going to be like, oh, is that why men and women are different, have different strengths and weaknesses? Oh, that's how we form teams. Oh, Wonder Twin powers activate. Because I thought turning women into fat, loud, insufferable men, that was going to lead us to the promised land. For the purpose of this discussion, I will keep in mind that if marriage can exist without a specific problem, then the issue is not marriage, but the problem itself. I will keep in mind that if marriage can exist without a specific problem, then the issue is not marriage, but the problem. You're right. The problem is the people. There's nothing wrong with a contract. That's what marriage is. It's a contract. There's nothing wrong with business contracts. It's the veracity and the honor of the two or multiple parties who engage in that contract. Are you going to honor your word? So I would say, well, marriage, just like money, naturally evolved through human evolution. Money as, silver and gold early on anyway, as the primary forms of money. That wasn't coincident. It had silver and gold have the traits that make it good money globally. And marriage more or less became a universal contract between men and women. In other words, it's what best suited humanity through trial and error. But some pissed off feminist spinsters from the 60s know better. Okay, let me know how happy they are. They're protesting? That's why they're all miserable? Okay. So the idea of a contract like, hey, we got kids before God and all your other contracts and vows. Yeah, the marriage is not necessarily at fault. It's like a lease agreement. Are you going to honor your lease agreement? It's the landlord and the... God, I'm feeling sick. The renter going to honor their agreement. It's what it is. I guess we could say there's nothing wrong with the idea of marriage. It's just that, especially America, but Westerners in general, but especially America, Americans are just not responsible enough to handle it. I'm also curious on your thoughts about the fact that no formidable nation is known to have existed without marriage or its equivalents. Right. You need men to produce weapons and energy and food and technology and shit. And if we're not getting laid, I'm being very direct. If we're not getting laid, we're not working. If we don't know if those are our kids, if we don't have a wife and kids to go home to, like to motivate us. Now there's the harem motivation too. Right. But if I don't have to raise kids or take care of a family, well, yeah, it's in one of my latest books, A World Without Men, where there's that meme going around. Men think it's okay to live like this. And it's just like a rollout mattress and a PlayStation. Like, yes, they can live like that and they'll be fine. That's how little they can produce and get by. Right now, men abandoning the labor force, the work, the economy should scare the piss out of everyone. But they don't, because we print off money and we outsource our production and the lights haven't gone off yet. But yes, no nation will survive unless you have the unit of measurement is the family. Correct. With women being the fuel and the energy that motivates men and their children, and then men being the engines and the workhorses. But that's all right if you want to give us welfare and disability. If I, oh my God, I do believe I have a case of the social anxieties disorder. May I have my government check, please? And the girls are like, oh my God, here, oh my, oh, yeah. Why can't I find a man who has the money to take care of me? I don't know. If we're taxing him 40% to pay for parasites, maybe you'd find some rich men. Yeah. Yeah. To keep the length short, I will list my ideas in bullet points. 1, eliminating the rewards from divorce. Simple. States pass a law that whoever files first can receive no more than X, say 25% of assets in this case. The other party remains protected. Yeah, you could do that, or I don't know which states have it, but what's yours is yours. Did you bring this to the relation? You brought the house, well, the house is yours. Like there's no commingling of funds or assets, no commingling of debts. I would go beyond. I don't think a flat 25% of the assets. No. How much money did you bring in? How much money did you bring in? All right. Who paid for most of the bills? We'll go through. We'll audit. We'll go through the financial statements. Okay. You paid for 80% of the stuff. 80% of the stuff here is yours. Whether it's the guy or the gal. 50-50 custody split because you all don't love your kids more than you love yourselves. But your point, your idea of say, yeah, it's 25% max for a settlement. I would also eliminate alimony. Whether it's man to woman, woman to man, just eliminate it. And then you eliminate the financial risk. And understand when I talk about financial risk, for the vast, vast majority of people, financial risk means life risk. Your life is threatened. I know finances is boring and all, but you get everything from your finances: food, clothing, shelter. You maintain and enhance your life through money that you work. And when you come in like, well, we're just going to take half your shit and you got to pay them more money, that really is a threat to that person's life. I don't mean that you're going to end them, but you would basically have turned them into slaves. So if the states or the feds or whoever, provinces, depending on the country we're talking about, you want more marriage, then make it less financially risky for all parties involved. So you are correct. 2, whoever pays the child support has an irrevocable call option on the children. No more presumptions and allowing kids to be used as a meal ticket. Whoever pays the child support used as a meal ticket. This will diminish substantially the incentive to baby trap. Whoever pays the child support can just get the children. Well, but child support isn't the person presumably who has custody of the children is incurring at that moment all the expenses, and whoever's paying the child support is then subsidizing, quote, their half based on the formulas. That is, I believe in child support because it's your kid. You guys support the kid. I mean, they're quite two different things. There's the divorce, and you and the missus or the mister have problems, but then there's the kids. Like, yeah, those are yours. You're going to pay for it. I would. To prevent child support from being taken advantage of, where, whatever these NBA basketball whores get their 100,000 monthly child support check because the guy happens to make millions of dollars. Yeah, kind of an end to that. I'm just seeing if your specific recommendation would do whoever pays has an irrevocable call option on the children. Yeah, I don't think that would work because they have an equal right to the children. Then they'd have to pay you. It's what we would need is very clear formulas within the states or counties, depending on wherever it's set up. Here's the average cost of a kid in this zip code. We've come up with this. You're going to have custody 70% of the time. We do the math that requires a 30% subsidy on your part. There you go. But yes, eliminating it's the no different than number 1. Remove all financial incentives to get divorced, or you in this case, use children as a tool to get more money. 3, remove the vast majority of domestic violence law. The state is not a good arbiter of what happens between a man and woman outside the most egregious of cases. Family, like fathers and brothers, with or without their shotguns, are a much more effective form of enforcement. Eliminate the concept of spousal, not super happy fun time in bed outside of some extreme circumstances, and if not yet clear, disagreeing over spending can no longer be called abuse. But the only one I'm going to go with you is the disagreeing, like financial abuse. The I don't want any abuse in any relationships. Just assault, whether you're married or not, doesn't matter. There should be no assault. Um, and then eliminate the concept of forcible bedroom, not fun time. I don't know about that. I'll be honest, I don't know about that one. I'm leaning towards no. Sometimes the girl just doesn't want to have sex. Um, but this is the slippery slope we're on now. She just wasn't in the mood, but gave it up anyway. And depending on the state, does she have the right to say, "Oh, yeah, I didn't want that"? I mean, really. And then I completely agree with disagreeing over spending can no longer be called financial abuse. That financial abuse, like, no, no. Unless we go in and audit, like you're depriving people of food, clothing, shelter. But if you say no, Bipsy, we're not getting the Grand Wagoneer. We're getting a more sensible Toyota Camry used. It's I'd be okay with that. People are very rarely turned into monsters overnight. Hence, there should be some accountability when choosing partners. That accountability is on the user. If you chose bad, then you can leave, not try to score a payoff. Yeah, I could, yeah. Um, see, here's the other. I'm not a lawyer or a cop. I haven't been in a lot of DV cases. I don't know. Like, on one hand, I don't want anyone getting abused. Period. But at the same time, it's yes. Oh my God, false accusations. Surely, sir, you jest. I should have linked. I'll update the link. The Pence principle. I should link to that. Randy Bentwick. Or Randall Bentwick. Also, this change will provide balance to nagging and needing that fly under the radar currently. A balance to nagging. The person responsible to end the nagging is the guy. Well, typically the guy. I'm sure maybe men nag their women. Typically not, but it's you to say, "Shut up or I'm leaving." That's it. Like, no, there's no nagging, there's no crying, there's no arguing. But when you're married now, you can't turn that off because I will leave you. See, but if you got married, I let's say we go into your modernized, updated, less risky, fixed up version of marriage. You still got to go through the process of filing the paperwork. And then there's a court battle. That right there is where it is not costless. What you're recommending is not costless. My recommendation, I'm going to get to later, is costless. I mean, there's costs, especially like emotional costs, but not legal or financial, legal costs, let's just say. If you are married, there is an exit poll, an exit tax, and that will not get rid of nagging. You think you're going to get rid of nagging. The number of times I'm like, "Do you want a kid? You could go adopt one." No, seriously, you wanna go adopt a kid? We'll do it right now. Yeah, but I'm gone. Oh, that's right. You see that? For victim leaves. In cases of suspected abuse, the victim can call the cops to provide safe passage to a different locale, not to handcuff and hallway the accused before proper investigation. I'll go with that. 5, bring back the default rule that a family is one unit. not a set of units when it comes to medical records, finances. Spouses should be deemed agents, representatives of each other unless this power has been explicitly revoked. At a minimum, the concept of head of family should regain its weight when it comes to managing the affairs of the whole family. Ooh, that's a double-sided sword. I understand what you're trying to go to. Like, yeah, the dad is the head of household and he will make the legal decisions, but you're commingling funds. Because then if you have, quote, the authority, then you also then will come with the responsibility. There may be other details, but the points above, if addressed, will dramatically decrease the effects of the past 100 years on marriage. I'm not disagreeing with you. I tailor and tweak and nip and tuck, change some things I just disagree with, but I'm generally agree with you that if we were to do some of these things, it would improve marriage. But I got a better idea. How about you don't get married at all, right? It's not the contract. It's the honor between men and women and a respect or a loving of their children. It's the family unit. It's not this piece of paper that said you got married. I am still of the opinion, like, look, yes, you've simplified it and made things a lot easier and streamlined it. It's still going to be a pain in the ass. It's still going to be a pain in the ass. And Americans are always trying to squirm their way out of responsibility. There'll be lawsuits. There's going to be lying. The problem isn't marriage. It's the American people. They're dishonorable. They're liars. They're lazy. They're egotistical. They're prideful. So we could improve marriage 2.0, whatever you want to call it. It's still not going to be, there's no marriage. We voluntarily have a relationship. You are not my wife. I am not your husband. You're my main squeeze, and we got kids and we're a family, but we are not married. And everything you listed, which is an improvement, just shows, but then you still got to deal with this. Like, it's not as bad. It's only 50% as bad, but you still got to deal with that 50%. Now I got to deal with the kids. Now I got to deal with this. Now I got to deal with that. No. Yeah, well, now the kids, that's different. So you're going to have the state's going to have something to say about how you handle the kids, which is separate from marriage. But dealing with all that, no. You still don't get over the hurdle that if you sign a marriage contract, you are now subjugating yourself to whatever new rules and laws, even in your modernized version of marriage. There's still handicaps. Your hand's still tied behind your back. Nothing's going to beat, I love you, you love me. We're here voluntarily. And if you want to, we're not doing that in marriage. It's not happening. It's just not. And we can have kids, but the second your withdrawal from the relationship, as well as hers, is what keeps you both honest. Because I'm not going to go through this shit that you're both madly in love with each other. Let's not go through that bullshit. I mean, it happens every once in a while. And that's the standard I'm going for, is you two both willingly like each other and you don't have to deal with any of this bullshit. You don't have to negotiate. I don't negotiate with my girlfriend. I'm like, what do you want to do? Oh, okay, let's do this. I'm getting this car, right? We're buying this car. Do you need a car? Okay, well, let's get that car. Okay. I mean, I have. What do you think? I mean, I don't just like, bitch, this is how it's going to be, because it's another human being. But I'm not. How much money did you make and how many assets did you pick? No. This is my money and these are my accounts, and that's your money and that's your accounts. If we don't have any kids, well, then it ends, and okay, it's like breaking up as boyfriend, girlfriend. It's great. Okay, bye. See ya. It's not going to beat that. Nothing's going to beat a voluntary, loving relationship. And so, yes, what I think needs to happen, and I think it already is kind of happening. Men need to go on a marriage strike. It's not even a strike. A strike indicates, well, we're not going to participate now, but until some things are changed, then we'll get back on that marriage bandwagon. No, men should just refuse marriage. It's ridiculous. Like, no, we're not doing that. That is what does Rollo call it? An unconscionable contract. That is a damaging contract to me. Why would I ever sign that? And like we can have the white picket fence. You can be a stay-at-home lady. You can we can do it all. No marriage. This is my fucking money. And that's your fucking money. I'll say it again. The fact we need marriage shows you people are not willingly doing this on their own. It shows you which party is least interested in upholding their end of the bargain. That they need a lockdown. They need a government. They need men with guns to come in and enforce this contract you have. No, we don't need this contract. I don't need to pick up smoking cigarettes, and you don't need to get married. You could still, have a great life. You could have a better life when I'll say it again. When you're going to put a ring on her finger, I'm not because I like sex too much. And then all the men laughed their ass off and all the women got pissed off because you girls know exactly that you do not have any intention of, it's not honoring your side of the contract, being nice to the guy, being thin and being sexy. I'm not going to negotiate sex. I'm not going to negotiate. No, we're not getting that car. It's too expensive. And then somehow, because I signed a contract, now I got to have a $900 a month payment for some freaking Audi. No. I don't care how long it's been around culturally. The relationship is still there. That's still possible. Like, that's all that matters. It's just, there's a group of people, I'm not going to say who. Well, I need a go over there. Go fine. No. Nope. No. Not going to happen. Yeah. I just think it's, you're not wrong. You're saying, let's improve this plane. And I'm saying, we don't even need the plane. We shouldn't even be fixing a plane. We shouldn't have a plane. There should be no plane. Why are we in the hangar trying to fix this plane that is not going to serve this? We don't need a plane. We need a boat. All right. So link below, I have the book of numbers, analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. Gentlemen, please read that book and look through the numbers so you know just how much interest women have in you. And by you, I don't mean like you individually. I mean men in general. And then when you look at the divorce statistics, you'll find out that divorce is a bad, 1 in 2 end of divorce. No, it's worse than that. It's like 7 out of 8 either end up in divorce or end up miserable, but still married. Right? At least divorced people are happy for a while until they get married again. It's 14%. Is that about? Yeah. 7/8. You have a 7/8 failure rate. Don't get me started about when the women get fat and you don't have sex or is sex. No, no. Look, ladies, I'm sorry. You have made it such a bad deal the past, 3 generations? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're all pissed off. Men aren't getting. No, the best way to win the game is not to play there. The Whopper computer. All right, let's go to the super chats. Pooping while standing, $2. Crappy needs to curtail his internal misogyny. No, I'm not. Everything I said was asexual. It goes the same way if women are making the most money. It is not in women's bed. Women don't need marriage. It's going to be just as much of a headache for them to file or have the guy file against them. I got an idea. Let's not do the marriage thing. Let's just have voluntary, loving relationships where men and women get together. It's so funny. I know, because I'm older and I got some people my age and they're dating gals and the gals like, bitch, we've been together for 15 years. Nothing is wrong. I've even said that. How long you guys been together? Oh, about like 15 years. Well, why don't you? I'm like, why would I fuck with a plane that flies reliably for 15 years? Hey, this plane that's flying reliably and works all the time for 15 years? Let's fuck with it. Sorry, ladies. Let's call it marriage 2.0. It's called perpetual dating. It's called committed loving relationships. Chase Robin. I'd love to hear old Matt Walsh's and Dennis Prager's view. Like, you still can't get over the fact that I can get everything you get out of marriage minus the risk. Chase Robideau, $10. Every young adult pastor brags about their spouse, but doesn't acknowledge the doorknob. 7 next to me in the pew with the fake smile is on 3 different dating apps just for attention. Doorknob 7 next to me in the pew with a fake smile is on 3 dating apps just for attention. You mean like their spouses are? Or just the Christian girls in general? We got plenty of Christian dating field reports. We got plenty of those. You can look up dating Christian stories or field reports. We got plenty of those. Most people in church aren't Christian. So if you're a guy, you're a Christian guy looking for a Christian girl to date, don't go to church. Find a secular girl and have her convert. Or just maybe you guys love each other. Look at me advocating love, and we don't need any contracts or any of this. Commodore Jensen. Well, then make me a general, sir. Patience, my dear boy, patience. Best of all, he's lucky, aren't you, Roy? If you say so, sir. I do indeed. Wasn't Napoleon, when selecting a field marshal, says, yes, I know he's genius, but is he lucky? The emperor knew the value of luck, and our boy Roy seems to have it. Then make me a general, sir. Patience, dear boy, patience. I should watch that. That's a great movie. Commodore Jensen. All forms of welfare are abhorrent. It's parasitism. It's theft. That's it. It's parasitism, theft, and slavery. Adults above the age of 18 should be required to put in military service, 2 years minimum. These 2 things fix all. I agree. Looking at what past 3 generations of adults have turned into, 4 if we throw in the boomers, absolutely not. 2-year stint in the military will undo all the touchy-feely female teacher bullshit you've received about entitlement and being a whiny, insufferable kuantahaha. Commodore Jensen, $2. An endless honeymoon period sounds fabulous. Exactly. That's what you guys think you're going to get married and it'll be wonderful. And no, that's like 1 in 1,000. I mean, these couples, they still hold hands and they're in their 70s. Yeah, it's so rare. It's so rare. But you get that not by getting married. Absolutely not. Colin K, $2. Somewhere in the distance, Dave Ramsey is frowning. That's fine. He can frown. Look, if you're Christian, he's not wrong. There's some rules that Christianity has. I'm playing the secular game. I'm saying, look, you got to look out for this other stuff. And that includes you Christians too. Just because you're Christian don't mean you don't obey the same laws of physics. You need to drink water. You need food. It's the same thing. I'm just saying, you probably shouldn't eat cholesterol. But I'm a Christian. Doesn't matter. Marriage is fucking dangerous. It's obsolete. I wonder if Dave Ramsey and Matt Walsh and those gang, would they be okay with a religious ceremony like in front of God before the government came in? Like if there was a stateless marriage, right? You go through your ceremony, you get married under whatever church or synagogue or whatever. You're gonna be like, well, we don't care. Do you have kids? That's about the only, and are you breaking up? That's about the only time we care. Is like there's risk of children. Otherwise, it's none of our business. You don't need a license, and then that's up to you and the religion of the community you belong to. But secular people just like, hey, you want to fuck? Yeah, cool, let's do it. You're just having fun. Yes. Yeah, we are. Yeah. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, asshole consulting. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.